Come on, Creative Challenge. Let's get challenging. That's the best dip you're going to get from me. Little Drag Race reference there. Hi, hello, I'm Andrew Hochradel. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I'm hosting your creative challenge for today. We will be hanging out and taking a look at what's new in Illustrator. Now, there's a lot of new 3D, and there's a ton of challenges and resources around that. But there's also just been a lot of new stuff that I don't think people really know about. So we're going to be working with that today. Go ahead and vibe check some music. Yeah, that's more like it. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into Illustrator. If you want to grab your source file and design along with me, you can do so down in the description right there. So let's go ahead and hop in. The first thing that I want to teach you about, and if you want to, you can jump through the chapters of this. We're going to be just covering a bunch of stuff. Usually these challenges, we have homework, we design something together, we post it for feedback. Today's just information. We're just going to show you a bunch of new stuff. So Control Right will skip through those chapters, and here are what those chapters are. We're going to be rotating multiple 3D objects. We're going to share for commenting. We're using the Discover panel. I'm going to show you how to auto sync your fonts. We are going to use selecting the same font. We are going to do a width tool. We are going to rotate our view. We are going to delete hidden layers, and we're doing repeats. So we have 9 things that we are covering today. You can skip through those chapters and find the thing that's relevant to you. All right, so let's hop in and talk about rotating multiple 3D objects. So we've been using a lot of 3D in some of our creative challenges. So let's go ahead and just grab some 3D shapes. I'm going to make some rectangles here by just dragging out a rectangle and going to 3D materials. And I'm going to go to object and extrude. Now we're going to make a couple different shapes. So we're going to make one here. I'm just going to hold Alt or Option as I click and drag to make a copy of that. And this one we're going to do a bevel on, and I'm also going to make it red. And let's go ahead and bevel both sides, which is a new feature. Today's theme is new. It's all new. So a new feature, bevel both sides. What that does, we can see on the other side, we're double beveled, a double bevel. So we have those. Let's go ahead and create one more just weird wonky object. Looks good to me. Let's go ahead and join that. Selecting it, hitting Command J is going to join it for us. And we're going to do this one as an inflate, right? Just a kind of fun, we're going to inflate both sides. And I'm going to show you something that we haven't really talked about that is new. And you now, instead of just one by one, we can rotate all of these objects at the same time. You know what? Yes. Okay, cool. So we can rotate all these at the same time. All you need to do is come down here and we are going to grab this. And you see, as I use the slider, it is going to rotate all of those. That shape is so fun. So we rotate all those. We can also grab this and you'll see that we can freeform rotate. It will rotate all of them at the same time. So this is really helpful if you're working with something and you've created 3D objects, right? And you want everything maybe at the same angles. We've created 3 separate objects and it's not lining up in our composition. What we can do is select all of these and then we can come down here and set these maybe to 0 all the way across. Maybe we want to set these to 45s. Right? And it will realign all of those so we don't have to mess with our settings, right? So pretty easy, pretty fun. One new thing down. You've learned something new. Let's go ahead and talk about sharing for commenting. So I have these 3 here and we have our shapes. So as you're working on your design, let's say that I want to send this to a client and the client wants to give feedback. We want to kind of get some information from them. So we can actually click up here, share document. So we're going to share this document and we do need to make it a cloud document. Cloud document just means that it can sync across different platforms. It actually could sync probably to Illustrator on iPad as well. And we'll be able to access it, of course, in Creative Cloud. So we'll sync that and we're just going to sync this as what's new, hit save. And it is synced as a Cloud Doc. Easy as that. If you've never used Cloud Docs before, they're super helpful and they allow you to do stuff like this. Clicking right here, we can now share this with someone for review, right? We can copy link and we can share it for review. Once I share that link, it is going to give me a link that someone could take a look at. So I'm just going to copy this link real quick and we're going to open it in browser so that, excuse me, so that y'all can see what that looks like. All right, so we're opening up the file in browser and look at this. So it's rendering it AIC, and look, here is our render, right? Full render. And if I wanted to, I could place a pin, and this is me working as a client. And I could say, hey, we want this one blue. I'm gonna submit that. And something else you can do is use this pen right here and say, you know what, let's not do that. Delete this one, delete this shape. So your client can actually go in here and leave these comments for you to be able to have a conversation to work live on your document. Now, here's the coolest thing. I'm gonna go ahead and close this real quick and watch what happens. So I'm going to click on Open in Illustrator, and with this, it is going to link us straight into Illustrator and open that document. And not only is the document updated, we also have a new comments panel. This is a new feature as well, and it says the comments that we want to look at. So as we scroll over here, it will show us, hey, there's a comment here that says delete this shape. I can reply in here and say, sounds good. I'll submit that and it will send a notification to the client, and then I can simply delete this shape, right? The comments aren't going to show up on our artboard when we print, but we could resolve it if we wanted to, and then it would go away. So from here, another one, want this one to be blue. Great, it's blue now, and we have resolved it with our client. So there we go. Super easy. It has done all the things that we wanted, and we have left that feedback. So if you've never used the Share for Review, super helpful, especially when you're collaborating with clients. It saves you meetings. You can send it to them, put all your notes on this document. Don't call me, don't talk to me. Just write them in there. All right, two things learned. I feel like we're in Into the Woods. 2 midnights. All right, so the third midnight, the third thing that we're going to be learning today is going to be the Discover panel. And I love when you join me for these challenges. But if you want to learn on your own, you can come up here to the very top where it says search for tools, help, and more. And this is going to be our Discover panel. In the Discover panel, we can do all kinds of information finding. We also have, right, plugins, stock, fonts, Adobe Live. Adobe Live. That's us. Everybody go click on that link. And we can click on these hands-on tutorials. So we're going to click here on the hands-on tutorials, and let's say that we want to follow along one of these tutorials. We can do make a logo, and here build your logo with basic shapes. So when we hit start tutorial, it's going to open up a document for us, and check it out. We have all of this document and things that we can work on, and it's going to give us step-by-step motivation and guidance for us to be working here in Illustrator. So if you want more information outside of these creative challenges, you can go to that Explore panel and check out some new stuff. All right, next one I want to show you. Oh, that's 3 things learned. All right, on to number 4. These chapter markers are going to be great. All right, number 4, this is going to be how to auto sync fonts. So let's say that I'm going to turn this off real quick. Ignore what's happening. Don't look. Close your eyes. Here, close your eyes. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. All right. Oh boy. So let's say that we open up a document where we don't have the font, right? It is just a document. There's an error. The font is missing. I don't think I have any fonts in here that would be missing. All right, so let's say we open up a document and the font is missing, right? Usually we have to do a couple things. We have to go to type. We have to go to find and replace font. It's going to find all those fonts for us, and then we're going to have to replace it with another font. We're going to have to hit change all, and then it's going to change all those fonts in. Great. But if I want to do that automatically, here are the hotkeys. You ready? You ready for this? Control or Command K. That's going to open up your preferences. If you don't want to do hotkeys because you're feeling a little bit lazy or you just want to know where it is, File, and then you can go into Preferences. Where are my preferences? If anyone knows where preferences is, I feel like they should be in File, and I don't know where they are. Okay, well, you can go into your preferences, which are not in File, by hitting Command K or Control K. And there's a bunch of different options in here. The one that I want you to check is to come down to file handling. And here we love saving recovery data. This is just a free, this isn't one of our numbers. This is just one of our free lessons. Check it out. You can save every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, however you want. And you can do all of this stuff, save in the background, save to the cloud. This is fantastic. Now, here's the one that I want you to click right down here. Auto activate Adobe fonts. What this is going to thank you, edit, thank you. Activate Adobe fonts. So you can hit OK. And now, anytime that you open a document that has an Adobe font embedded in it, it will automatically load it so that you don't have to worry about it, right? So this is another benefit of using Adobe fonts is if you're working with clients, if you're working with other designers, you can simply click on that and it will auto update as you open the file. And if you want to know, it is edit. And then if you scroll down, it is preferences right there. And in preferences, you can just go to file handling right down here. That is a menu. So clicking on file handling, and again, right down here, auto activate Adobe fonts. It is off by default. So if you're using this, it is probably turned off. Go and turn it on. It is so helpful. There's no downside to having it on. Go turn it on. It's amazing. All right, here we go. That was number 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go to number 5. All right, so number 5, let's go ahead and I am going to show you here in Illustrator how you can select multiple versions of the same font, right? So let's say that I wanted to change one of these fonts, right? Or maybe I wanted to change the color of this font. Let's say we have, oh my goodness, so many different variations, right? And these variations have come in a bunch of different shades, right? We were working with a red, yellow, green, blue, purple. Happy Pride. This is like accidental pride. Red, orange, there we go. All right, so we have it in all these different colors, but we do want to change them all to one color. I can click and drag here, but if we're working on multiple artboards, working with things that are flying all over the place, we can actually go ahead and select all of these. So we used to be able to select similar objects. So we're going to go to select. We're going to go to same. And from here, look at all these options. So this is really great if you have a complex illustration and you need to select certain things. So we can select the same appearance, blending mode, fill and stroke, fill color, opacity, stroke color, stroke weight. These are all great for different objects, right? And when we're using different objects, that's usually really helpful, especially if you're working with a complex illustration with a lot of colors, layers, shapes. This is very helpful, right? As in, if I want to change everything that is black, I can go to select, same, fill color. It's going to select everything that is black right here, and then we're going to change it to brown, right? So it's selecting all of those different shapes. Great. Now, I want to select all of the type. What we can do is we can select this type and then go up to select, same, and there's a whole new panel of different things that we can select the same for. So we can do font family and style, font family, style, and size. We can do font size, text fill color, text stroke color. So let's say we want to do the font size. Every font that is this size, we can click on font size and check that out. It's selected all of the different fonts that are that size. Now, if these were different, right? I'm just going to scale them up right here. And I have one of these selected, go to select, same, font size. It is not selecting these, see? So it has to be exact measurements. And this is so helpful when you're working with headings, body copy, to be able to select all of those at the same time. Now, if I wanted to, again, I could select right here, same, font family. That's going to select everything. Right now, everything is in Dunbar. So it's selecting all of that font family for me. And that way I can edit. If I wanted to, I could change all of the fonts to a different font and play around with everything that I needed. So very, very easy. And someone in our live chat also, hi live chat. This is a live stream if you're watching on YouTube on a replay. I'm glad that you're here. But if you're watching live, behance.net/Adobe Live every day at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Nice to see you. We do have a question from our chat. Adonis is saying, are these updates also on Illustrator for iPad? The answer is some of them. So there are some of the updates. One specifically that we'll be showing you in a minute that is on Illustrator and iPad actually came over to desktop from iPad, but the user interface is a bit different. So some of these are not included in iPad, or they're not really within the workflow of iPad. So continuing on, that was number 5. Okay, that was number 5. Changing over fonts. Number 5. All right, time for number 6. Number 6 is a simple one. It's going to be width simplification. So what this is if you've ever used the width tool. So let's go ahead and do just a nice little swirly here. And I just use the brush tool to make that swirly. We're going to use the width tool. If you've never used this, it's right over here, and you can have any path that just has a basic stroke on it. You can grab the width tool, and then you can click and drag, and it will drag out the width of that shape. So we want a wide width, and then here we want it to be a little bit smaller. And at each of these anchor points, we can pull out these widths, and it will make the width of the shape exactly how we want it to look. So I do want these to be rounded, so I can come over to my stroke. There we go, right there. So now it is merely just a shape, right? It's looking a little bit wonky, but we'll leave it. It is just a line that has a stroke on it where the width has changed. With this, we can select it. We can go to Object and Expand. And if you see, it's actually smoothing these out quite a bit. So this is a bit of a complex shape, but from the past version of the width tool, it is much smoother. And you can even come in with the smooth tool, if you like, right under here underneath the shaper tool. And you can smooth these out even more. So it has way less anchor points than it used to. It is much smoother. This is not necessarily a huge tool change, but we like it when things are simplified for us. So that's it. That's number 6. Yes, that's number 6. Now let's go on to number 7. The 7th thing that you are going to learn today. And that is going to be something that's actually going to be really fun when we start playing with it right now. And that is rotate view. If you've ever been working with a project in Illustrator and you need to get right angles, or you need to kind of look at it from a different way, let's say we want to see what this looks like if we turned it vertical. What we can do is we could select these, we could rotate, okay, I just discovered something. I've never rotated objects that have 3D applied to them. And so not rotating in 3D, but just rotating using the rotate tool. I'm learning something new today. This is what's new in Illustrator. I can click and drag, and look at that. It's maintaining the angle, but rotating those shapes. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know you could do that. All right. So we could rotate, or we could rotate the entire artboard if we need to be working a little bit differently. We can come over here, and usually this is the hand tool. The hand tool is what we use holding space to kind of click and drag to move around. Now, if we click and hold, we can go ahead and do rotate view tool. And what this is going to do is I click and drag, is it's going to rotate our entire artboard. Ooh, hold on. Let's do, okay, ready? And this is going to be Stranger Things. All right, so we learned something. Let's go into the upside down. I told you this is going to be an unhinged challenge. So if we wanted to, we can rotate the entire look, right? The entire page, however we need that angle. You can see that it has that perfect angle. If we hold shift, it will rotate by 15-degree angles. And right there we have the rotation tool, right? That is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7. Let's go ahead and give you number 8. All right, number 8 that you are going to learn today is how to add smart guides at different angles. So check this out. If we wanted to, we could hit Command K or go back into our options, and then we are going to go to smart guides. So I'm going to delete these real quick, just because I want to show you something. Okay, oops, I didn't delete both of them. Andrew, pull it together. We don't have time for this. Smart guides. There we go. So with these deleted, pretend like that didn't happen. If I go and rotate again and I hold shift, see how it's rotating? Oh, it's still rotating by 15 degrees. All right. Well, what we can do is we can Control K and we can go ahead and go to smart guides, and you can actually set up smart guides for more angles. So we can do 45 degrees, we can do negative 45 degrees, we can do 12.5 and negative 12.5. So now when I start working with my smart guides, it will actually lock to each one of these angles, right? Kind of cool. Construction guides, so we can hit OK. And right now, if we start working, if we rotate, it should lock in at other angles. Let's see if it works with the pen tool. So there's our 90. There we go. There's our 45. And there's our 12.5. So you can see with those smart guides on, as we rotate around, it's hitting all of those extra angles. So this is great if you're working with isometrics. Really, really great to be able to designate what angles you want to be working with. All right, last one that I'm gonna show you. Two more that I'm gonna show you. Here we go, this one's quick. Number 9. Number 9 is delete hidden layers. If you are working with a bunch of layers and there are random layers that are hidden and you don't want those shapes anymore, you just want to get rid of them, right here on this little menu, you can go all the way up to delete hidden layers and boom, it will give you just the layers that you need. All right, here we go. We've done it. Time to learn number 10. We've learned a lot during this. I know we've learned a lot during this challenge, but number 10, new thing in Illustrator, and that is our repeats. So we're going to use a repeat, and I'm going to use this shape right here, and we're mixing it with 3D. It's going to get crazy. So I'm going to turn on some lighting here just so we have it. We're going to do some top left. Let me rotate it right there. The height we want a little bit closer, and I'm going to go ahead and render this in ray trace real quick. It's a simple shape, so it shouldn't be too bad. So we have our render in ray trace, and watch what we can do with 3D. Check this out. This is going to be really fun. With our 3D shape, with the shadow, we can, I'm going to take the intensity of this up just a little bit so we have some more bounce. We got more bounce. All right. So from here, we can go into our repeat panel. We can go to Object, Repeat, and do Radial. And check that out. So with radial repeat, it's going to go ahead and just repeat that shape as many times as you want. If I scale this down, it's going to scale all of these down, and it's rendering them in real time, right? We're going to get those very nice renders. And from here, we can increase by using this slider right here, increase the number of shapes. So this can get really, really cool when you start playing around with kind of where these shapes sit. So right now you can see that it's actually getting the shadows dropping on those 3D shapes. And if you wanted to, you can select this and we can have less. So maybe we do a half circle on these. Really great way to create some complex logos. We can click here to extend them out further from each other if we wanted kind of a Stonehenge kind of circle look. Or we can pull them very far in to kind of have them overlap. So I think that this looks pretty good to me. And right there, we can use that repeat. We also could use this repeat on this shape if we wanted to. Turn on a little shadow. We could use it on this shape, and we could go to Object, Repeat, and we could do a grid. And that's going to just create a grid of our objects. We can do as many or as little as we want. We can increase the width there. Maybe we want it over here. And this is great for creating those kind of like 90s illustrations that are kind of just these weird patterns. And then let's go ahead and double click in here. And with our shape selected, we can turn on that ray tracing, and it will render not only one of them, but all of them. So there we go. We've got it all rendered with all of those 3D shapes looking fantastic and looking good. Someone's saying, can you rotate these? Yes, you can rotate these 3D shapes. And look at that. The shadows are staying the same. We are getting all that. It is murdering my computer because I'm trying to render so much as those move. So thanks for joining me. Those were my top 10 new features in Illustrator that you may not have used. Join us for more of these creative challenges right here, behance.net/Adobe Live. And be sure to join the Discords down in the description. Check out all of those links. They're great resources for you to get more information. I'll see you again for another challenge here on Adobe Live. Bye.